Well, hello my friends, welcome back to my shop. Furtado here. You know, I want to talk a little bit before I jump into the lathe and show you what I'm turning next. But I want to talk about a good deed never goes unnoticed or unrewarded. As you know, some of you may know, not too long ago, there was a Craigslist posting for free wood. Well, there's a little story that I would love to share with you about that. Prior to that ad for the free wood, I had come across an ad on Craigslist for a lathe. And right away I jumped on the ad. It was an old J-line lathe, really old. And I contacted the owners, and of course they did not respond to me. I was away from, out of town at the time. And within a few hours the lathe was gone from Craigslist. A couple of days later the lathe showed up back on Craigslist. The person who had bought it had just bought it to make a quick buck and relisted it. Now, a couple of weeks later I saw Craigslist, free wood available, and I could see that there was a lot of nice stuff over there, as well as a lot of bad stuff. And the deal was, you take it all or you take none. I made a call. It's like, look, I would really love to see what you got on wood, and came to find out that the wood was from the same ad of the people that were originally selling the lathe. It was a neighbor of mine's, a half a mile from me actually, 3/4 of a mile away from me, deceased, and the family were selling the estate. All the tools were unbelievable of what he used to have. Even when I first got there, what he was selling, I mean, unisaw, for $450. It's like, oh my God, it was like giving things away pretty much. And so anyway, I went over there. That wasn't my interest, was not tools. I was picking up wood. I picked up a lot of great pieces of wood that came from this woods turner, and a lot of garbage that had no use. It was basically, they did me a favor, I did them a favor by cleaning out a lot of stuff that was no good to anybody, and burned a lot of it. But out of the great stuff, I really got some amazing stuff. But not to linger on the story of the wood turner, last week I received a call. It's like, hey Al, I have a saw over here that, I think that we'd like to give it to you if you can use it. So it's like, oh my God, and he's like, I think it's like a jigsaw or something like that. I was pretty sure I knew what it was. It was a scroll saw. So anyway, it's like, oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm thrilled, and I put a little bowl together and I brought it to them as a gift as well. My bowl did not pay nearly for what I was receiving. But anyway, I get over there, and I thought I had seen an old Delta, and sure enough, I get over there and he's got this old Delta scroll saw. Now, I've cleaned it up a little bit. It's from the 30s, I believe. 30s or 40s. Everything is original. The light, which I'm rewiring, the wire was all brittle up on the top. So I'm doing that, and that's the only thing that really I'm doing to it, is replacing this wire, which I have to open it up and see where it feeds up. But it's a 24-inch scroll saw, cast iron, thing weighs a ton, and it's got a 3-step speed, or 4-step pulley in here, 4-step, So you can change the speed, but I figured with my experience I will use it on slow speed. Fairly quick on the the replacement of the blade, changing blades. It's really a nice saw. Well, after getting it, of course I looked it up, and you know, you look one thing and you get all kinds of information. Some of its history, how you can determine the age of the piece, and some for sale. And it just so happens that what I saw for sale sells for $600 or so on this baby right here. So I am thrilled that they thought of me as somebody who would get this. Now, you know that I have the DeWalt. And the DeWalt, it was one of those things that I bought that I shouldn't have bought because I haven't really used it. And I probably won't use that saw nearly as much as what a scroll saw user would use. But I will be using that saw. My DeWalt, I'll probably put it up for sale and get something out of it. Even though the DeWalt has the adjustable variable speed and all that stuff, that is the saw that belongs in my shop. It will be set up, even though it takes an massive amount of room. Now, that was not the only thing. As I was cleaning up, he said, "Hey Al, do you want a router?" It's like, oh my God, like nobody gives routers away. That's something every homeowner uses. You know, I'm honored. I mean, I don't want to say no because I definitely can use it. But you know, anyway, it wasn't just a router. It was a Panto engraver. Let me see. It came on the table, and I moved it around over here the other day. I was trying to make room. Oh. Right here. He also had this Panto engraver. For those of you who don't know, basically you set it up and you follow this line around wherever you're engraving, and the router follows it up on a different scale. You can go 40%, 50%, and 60% of the size, wherever you're sketching out. So, came with a Makita trim router, bit, table, and I got a whole bunch of accessories, letters, all kinds of stuff that go with this that you could do. Names. I'll probably do a name for my shed with this very soon. But so yes, sometimes, you know, you do a good deed and it comes back to you. Although I think they did a better deed than I did. Even with my cleaning up of some of the wood, I just could not see leaving some of the stuff there when I was getting all these gems. So I took the gems, I took some of the bad stuff too. I knew I wasn't going to be able to use it, but I took it and then I got rewarded in the back end. Alright, back to a little bit of a side story, not related to that. As some of you know, I been working vigorously on a project for my company. I came back from California from the project that I was working on, and they were in desperate need of my attention to our new office building. I can't say things were smooth going over there because there were many things that required my attention all the time. So it was long days, and after long days, even coming home and thinking about things for tomorrow and to continue and to make sure that I could do as much as I could with a little bit of time I had on the project and get it on the way, and at least if I had to leave, the next person would have somewhat of an easier path to finish it up. Well, today was my last day on it because I am flying to California tomorrow again. So, no time to play on the lathe. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to do a little bit of turning. I'm going to break up this whole recording into sequences in a way that I see that makes sense, and give you a little bit of events on things that I do today, and maybe something that I started recording for a little bit and it was a fail. I don't know. I might just throw that in there to show you that not everything that I touch is going to be success. As a matter of fact, some of you may know I've put a lot of fails on YouTube. I don't hide the fails. Unless I don't get a complete recording, then I don't have a choice. But if I'm doing something and I fail, I'm not afraid to show that. Well, I've tried doing the droop over bowl again, and I gotta tell you, that droop over bowl is probably one of the most challenging turnings to do. It's definitely not a turning for the faint at heart, if that's the correct terminology. It does take quite a bit. You are working in tight situations, places you cannot get your tool in very well, so it's not an easy turning. It's not like just turning a platter or a bowl or something, even if it has character. It does require a little bit of nerve going in there. But I've tried again a few times, and one time was because the wood was way too funky in the middle. I could not get it clean enough. It was not posing enough interest for me, and I discarded it. Another time was because it came off the lathe and it broke its edge, so therefore I could not use it. So, but today I got another one mounted on the lathe, and I'm going to make sure that this one is another success. And why am I doing something that I've already done before? I'll tell you why. The reason why I would do something is because I have not mastered it. And the other reason is that every time you make one of those, it's just like a vase, a natural edge vase. Depending on the character of the wood, it will always give you a different effect. So that's the reason why I'm putting this one up. That's what we're going to be turning today. And towards the end of this video, I might have something very different. We will see. Well, this one was somewhat of a success. And again, each one will always be different, both on how you turn the underneath, how you address the inside, and what the odd shapes of the wood are as you put it on your lathe. A little bit of an adjustment sometimes is needed so you can at least get these edges hanging down about the same amount. Not exactly the same amount. Well, I don't want the same amount. Well, again, thanks for watching. I do believe I'm getting a little bit rusty. Being away from the lathe way too long. And I want to do different things, but you know, I'm trying to do something that's still a little bit of a challenge to me, and that is fairly quick. It's not that this is a quick turning, but once I hit the lathe and I put it on, it's what comes up out of the lathe, about 2 hours worth of work from beginning to end. The wood is green, it will dry up, and it will reshape itself slightly, very slightly, not enough to crack. I'm thin enough both on the bottom as I am on the top. The only stocky part is right over here on the center, which is close to the pit of the wood. And I'm fairly thin throughout the inside of all the transitions going through this. So it's a nice, different type of piece that makes a nice display. Well, don't forget, if you like it, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends. They might like it too. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon.